It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings, KFC, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a burger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Spyder Grages with the Brutally Delicious podcast, coming at you with a new live concert review. Tonight I attended Korpiklaani's Folkfest of the North Tour, supported by Ensiferum, Trollfest, and Nini at the Orpheum Theater in Tampa, Florida. This was an absolute banger of a show. Pretty much folk metal music all night long in some form. The crowd was hot all night. The bands were hot. The bands were having a great time. It showed. Everybody was having a blast tonight. Just an absolute blast of a show. Nini opened the show, and to be honest, I had no idea they were even on the bill until about a week ago. I don't remember if they were on the main poster originally or not, but looking at Korpiklaani's page, they were. I guess I just overlooked them, so I literally knew nothing about this band going into the show, but I was able to learn some about them from other people and from looking them up in between different artists. But Nini is a band out of Taiwan. It's the namesake is one of their members being Nini. She was on America's Got Talent, I believe it was season 19, but she specializes in different Chinese folk instruments. It's, very similar to the banjo. I don't know their names off the top of my head. But the band had a very unique sound, like almost to the point, like if you took Baby Metal and the Who, the Mongolian band, mashed them together, they have a baby, then that baby grows up to marry a metalcore singer, and they start playing music together. That's kind of what you get with these guys. A lot of folk music with some metalcore singing in between. You get Nini's voice in between as well. Just a very unique sound. You can tell that they were having a lot of fun on stage too. And they put the crowd in a good mood. Everybody was dancing, having a good time with these guys. They didn't have a very long set, but definitely I'm going to check them out a little bit more here in the future. And they also finished with a cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, which is a very interesting sound with the instruments they were using, and totally different from the Children of Bodom cover, which I was always a big fan of that cover. So it's kind of neat to see a different cover of it. Overall, though, great show from them. I'm definitely going to be looking into their library, checking out more of their stuff in the future, and I hope to see them again here in the coming days, months, years, whatever. Trollfest comes out next, and this is honestly the band that I wanted to see. I saw them on 70K in January. I had an absolute amazing time partying with them. They're on my list of bands now that I'm going to go see if they're anywhere remotely close to me. These guys to me are can't miss. It's a can't miss show. It's full of shenanigans. Tonight they did the Congo line around the venue, the flamingo dance, just being goofy. At one point they had half the audience sitting down and the other half jumping up and down, and then they would kind of interchange the two sides. And the singer literally said it was for our chaos and his enjoyment. But just an absolute blast. Not many people dressed up for them as there was on 70K. There was probably 15-20 people with inflatable riding flamingos, and yes, I was one of them. But for this one, couple people wearing hats, a couple little flamingo apparel, but not a whole lot. Their set itself, nothing short of amazing. These guys are just so much fun. And I would love to see them on tour with Nanowar of Steel, maybe. Just the absolute goofiness of both bands. I think that would make a ridiculous show. I think it'd make a lot of people happy. And I can really only hope and dream that happens one day. And if it does, I don't care where it's at. I'm going to it. So then both Ensiferum and Korpiklaani, sorry, it's a hard name to pronounce, I was recently introduced to, so I'm not too familiar with their work. I do know some of it, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert in it in any stretch of the imagination. Ensiferum is that solid mix of like Viking power and folk metal, but more towards the Viking and power metal sides with some folk metal thrown into it. I think they had a keyboardist, and that was really about it in terms of folk. But these guys opened the show for the mosh pit, or opened the mosh pit for the show. I didn't see really any mosh pits for the previous two bands, but a lot of crowd work from these guys. A good number of people left, though, after their set, so I tend to believe that a lot more people were there to see them as opposed to Korpiklaani. But a lot of crowd interaction with them, a lot of energy on stage. Definitely looking more to seeing more of their music. And as much as I enjoyed their set, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it a lot more once I'm more familiar with their work. Korpiklaani was in that same boat with me. I'm not too familiar with a lot of their work, and I damn sure don't understand the Finnish language at all, so a lot of what they said just kind of went over my head, but it's still a lot of fun music to listen to. And even I was talking with one of the guys beside me, and he described them as Finnish reggae, which was a pretty good description of them. And I even compared them to like Subway to Sally from 70K. That was a great show too. Just pure folk metal, with, an excellent mix of the violins, the guitars, the accordions. I even compared it to Yelvedi, which has a new album coming out. Be sure to check out that review when that comes. But like I said, a good number of people actually left after Ensiferum. But there were still plenty of people there for Korpiklaani. Everybody was dancing, doing some do-si-dos. You had some circle pits going on. But there wasn't one person that was just standing around. These guys were an absolute entertainment. Just a lot of fun, really upbeat music. Another band I'm definitely looking forward to seeing again. Overall, top to bottom, just an excellent show. There wasn't a bad spot in the lineup to me. All four bands I look forward to seeing again soon, hopefully sooner than later. But in the meantime, I'll be listening to their music and looking to get more experience with them. And for the tour itself, there's a handful of dates left on it. So if it is coming near you, I would definitely say check the show out. It was an awesome show. Top to bottom, definitely check it out. Check my social media coming up in the next few days for pictures and video clips from the show. I took a handful of them. And as always, give the Brutally Delicious podcast a follow on social media at Brutally Delicious on all platforms, and myself on Facebook at Grages, and on Instagram at SpyderG300. And yes, that's Spyder with a Y, and we'll catch you next time.
This is the story of Whitney Houston.
This is the story of Kurt Cobain.
Of George Michael, of Otis Redding, of Amy Winehouse, of Michael Hutchence, Bob Marley. This is the story of Prince.
It's a new podcast series
about how they died, why they died, and why we're still talking about them so long after.
It's like nothing you've ever heard before.
It's storytelling.
But it's more than that, because rock stars,
they tell us how we feel. They change our mood.
They change the clothes we wear, the people we hang out with,
the way we remember things.
It's them who give us those ludicrous moments, the ones where you're
jumping around, singing your heart out, feeling understood.
And it's those moments we'll help you remember, the ones you're thinking about right now.
That feeling.
That feeling.
It's coming soon from Crowd Network.
Just search for Death of a Rock Star on your podcast app.
And subscribe now.